So I've known you as a doctor, I've met you as a doctor, then suddenly one day on social media I see that you've been cycling and you've been running. So how did this bug bite you and how did you take up running? What's the motivation?
Actually, I started cycling during the first lockdown of COVID. During the second lockdown of COVID, many people are very strict and didn't allow the cycling. That was when I started running. So I used to run alone, and that was when I did my first 5 kilometers. I think in the 2021 May or something, I did my first 5 kilometer, and that is how I started running from cycling.
And now you run a distance of...
I have completed 42.2 full marathon. 2 full marathons I have done in the month of February. And now, like our group Vizag Runners, we do these weekend runs. Comfortably every week we do almost 21 kilometers run every week.
That's a fabulous turnaround, and I'm actually sitting with heavyweights here, runners like you. So we spoke about your passion for cycling and running. Do you see a synergy between cycling and running in Vizag, especially that it happens in the same route most of the time?
Firstly, cycling and running both are kind of complementary to each other as sports. Like running will help us in cycling, and also cycling will help us in running. Not the same muscles are used, but it is kind of complementary. Well, as far as in Vizag, we have a great group of cycling called as Spartans Pedals and Chain. Good group. They conduct all the long rides like 200, 300, 400 like that, and they have been really useful even in our events. Like we had conducted the Vizag Marathon last year. So the cycling group, Spartans group, they were very, very much instrumental in becoming the marshals of the cycling of the marathon. And as far as a runner, definitely cycling helps because it's kind of a cross training, and every runner should also do cycling at least once a week kind of, so that we give our muscles which are running rest, and we are also stimulating other muscles which are in some way or the other indirectly helpful for the running.
Yeah, that is very interesting technical information. I hope you swim and become a triathlete also next.
Yeah.
Thinking about being a doctor, there are a lot of misconceptions about running, and you know how that could lead to perhaps injury or ill health, and so many people stay away from it. So maybe you can throw some light on it.
Yeah, whenever we run, the first thing people will tell that, "Arey, you are running 21 kilometers, your knee will burn out." So people don't understand that we don't run 21 kilometers or something right from day one. So there is something called as conditioning, and basically for every runner, lot of strength training is done. So before we do a running, we have to do warm up, we have to do cool down after the run, and you have to increase your run or every week like hardly maximum 10%. That's kind of a rule, and that is how you reach to a good running level kind of. These people run 160 kilometers. It's not on a single day. So that concept that you will burn out your knee and all is completely wrong, and we should basically do not think of running from the day one. It is that conditioning and training, having a proper group, like we have our Vizag Runners strength training program. And most importantly, we do our group runs. Before that, our Srinivas will ensure that everyone does warm up for 15 minutes warm up. And after the run is over, minimum 15 minutes cool down and stretching has to be done. So those things are very important when we are kind of doing the running. And like many people think that they take the example of someone getting a heart attack during the run or during the gym, and that they take as an excuse to not to kind of run. Or many people tell that I am okay, satisfied walking.
Yes.
That's just it's actually not at all related to every person. Yes, someone is having some kind of bundle branch block or some kind of anomaly in the heart, which could lead to block or kind of a heart attack or something. That can happen to anyone. Even a person walking on the road can get an accident being hit by a vehicle. That doesn't mean we stop
Correct.
walking.
That's right.
And but the same way we should not think that they're kind of accidents. So that is another thing that every runner, not only every runner, every individual, especially when once you are above 40 years of age, you should get kind of regular health checkups. Okay,
Yes.
regular health checkups, especially cardiac checkup, like get TMT done, get your ECGs done, and get a consultation with a physician or a cardiologist who can at least take that 1% of the persons who have that kind of issues, then so that they can guide you. Yes, you don't run long runs, you run short runs, or if you get any kind of aura, like if someone is getting a heart attack, it doesn't happen suddenly. It only happens in movies that it happens suddenly.
Yes.
Always any kind of heart attack will give us some kind of before that we'll have uncomfortable things which will be there for a period of time.
Correct.
And normally we ignore that. And that we should be aware and we should do that. For that reason, as Vizag Runners during our Vizag Marathon, last year in association with Apollo Hospitals, our medical partner, we have done the CPR training for our runners. And also we did in certain societies in the Visakhapatnam as kind of training people for doing CPR. If someone, let us say we are running and someone is falling down with a heart attack or something, what best can be done at that place?
Yes.
So we also trained the cyclists who are the support staffs, etc. So those things are very important. Even we can save a life during a event.
Sure. So a lot of things go into organizing a marathon. I can see that, there is the CPR that you spoke about, and it also helps that the Vizag Runners also have other skills, especially if you are doctors, then there's a lot of expertise that comes not just about running, but also managing your health. And I think it's also fair that if you're running and cycling, there's or into physical exercise, there's more chance that you'll take care of your health and get your tests done, like you said.
Like the heart, okay, a runner or an athlete, their heart rate will be, the resting heart rate is very low. Something like routinely we people have our heart rate at, I think mine is 52 to 53. Okay, and someone like those who are triathletes, they sometimes have kind of 38. Okay, it's like what happens, our heart is also accustomed to pumping, that if it pumps 52 times, it is sufficient for us, the blood circulates.
Correct.
Okay. The same thing for a routine person who is not exercising, has to pump 80 times.
Yes.
Okay. So that means we are kind of conditioning our muscles, including our heart muscles. And as madam said, we must do some kind of exertion and give strength. If we don't condition it, our body later on it cannot face that. So like people walk, I ask them, you don't need to run, you just need to slowly start jogging.
Yes.
So,
no, absolutely. I have seen the benefits as well within a matter of a month of regular endurance exercise. I've seen the heart rate drop from maybe high 70s to low 60s. So I think it's there for everyone to see. So hum up this conversation that we are having today. Vizag Runners is an organization of people. So do speak about how it works, like with the president, the secretary, the treasurer, all of these people, and how they come together to make Vizag Runners function systematically as well as run the Vizag Marathon.
Yeah. So before that, I'll just add one thing. I'll just like to tell you about how I fast ran a marathon event. I used to run like 21 kilometers also I did. But the first time one of my friends told that you run a marathon event, there is a different experience. So I ran the Hyderabad Marathon and I was mesmerized with the experience that we had. And then after that only we discussed the Vizag core committee, which consists of Mr. Rai, Mr. Srinivas, and few other passionate runners. Common thing I'll tell about all the core committee members who were completely involved in the event, and also the other members,
Yes.
was one single word: is commitment.
Yes.
That commitment for organizing a event that is our own event, our own city event, and giving the best experience to our the participants, which they have never experienced.
Yes.
So that commitment to get that experience into our city brought this result as a Vizag Marathon, and we have given them 2 years of best experience, and I am sure in the forthcoming years we are going to give better than that.
Yes. I see accountability, I see running experience, I see commitment. And then everybody has spoken about teamwork, role clarity, and then having a range of understanding across fields from medicine to business. I think all of this makes Vizag Runners stick and make Vizag Marathon unique, because everyone is an organizer and everyone is a runner. So thank you very much for this conversation. I hope Vizag Runners goes to places. Literally, I mean, I'm sure all of you run to take it to places, and of course Vizag Marathon as well. Thank you.
Thank you.